So this is our trail, as always, dust, as always, lovely greenery, and if I step off the trail, a little bit of crunch. Now then, we are on search for a temple, as is normal. Look at these rice fields, all parched and brown. But as to where this temple is, I don't have a Scooby-Doo. I know it's around here somewhere. But this is the exercise, you see, this is the adventure. We can see some flags. I'm not seeing anything that's really sticking out to me. You know, those hints I usually get, like trees and so on, apart from these two here in the distance. Do you see them just there where I'm pointing my tripod? Let's go over there. Maybe that is our clue. For a tree, literally can be the only clue you get sometimes. Right, we've come across a hut and there's an old man here. So let's go and ask him. It's that way. Yeah. Okay. Right, the gentleman farmer there has described that I need to go up here. But we have learnt something rather more important, and that is this place is landmine. Because you may have noticed from that very short clip I captured, he has one leg, and my goodness, he got hit hard because it ripped it off all the way to the actual ball joint at the top. So I will be doing things like, can you see this line here? There's a line there. That is a trodden path, i.e. animals and people. So I will be sticking to those, for I wish to remain a biped. And we found it. But how can I say that without seeing it? Well, have a look at the ground. Look at this, lovely people. Look, look. These are building blocks. Nature didn't make them, those square. Can you see them? Now you see them, don't you? They're everywhere. The clues were right in front of you all the time. So up we go and see what's at the top. Oh, this is wonderful, isn't it? This is a proper adventure, this one. There is the lovely, but potentially deadly landscape we've come through. And here we're getting the hints. See all this debris here? And look, there's a bit of a temple here. But what's really got me excited is there's all this bamboo here as well. Look at that, the sun just glistening through the lovely bamboo. We're elevated, we're getting a bit of a breeze. This is temple heaven. And here is our quarry, at long last within our grasp. And this handsome devil's name is Ong. As we can see, an earlier temple because of the brickwork, which is literally piled up all around me. And it just gently cascades down the hill as well. This is a really forgotten temple, but we must never ever let the sands of time cover up the importance of these places. This place amongst these flat rice fields was elevated and dumped on top of this mound so it would be seen, it would attract attention, and they didn't skimp. I mean, these brick walls are particularly thick. This was a place of some importance that, alas, sits on this channel with the word forgotten in it. And there's some other hints as well. Over there, I have noticed the most resplendent lion's chest. I say chest, for alas, he has lost his head. So, let me quickly show you around the delights that are hidden away here. First, there is that lion's head. Now, this is hardly the most friendliest of places. The bushes here are covered with thorns, which is nearly always the way in the jungle, or in a jungle setting. And we have something very interesting here. Look at this. Isn't this amazing? This is the chest of a lion. I've seen so many of them, and often they've lost their faces. In this instance, the whole blinking head has gone. But it's still a fantastic piece of art. And if I'm not mistaken, if you look down here, you see he's missing his paws because his paws are over here. Look, these mighty big, this is my hand, this is his paw. So we can easily scale up and know that this was one blinking big lion. And of course he wouldn't have been alone. There's usually two either side of the doorway. And saying doorway gives me a rather good opportunity to leap up and show you the main piece itself. It is quite the tower. And it has quite a bit to tell, because let me just very quickly Scooby-Doo over here, and we can see this debris and this rubble, all this labour and all this time, because through here we see that there is the more advanced way of doing things, i.e. these larger blocks that we see at Angkor Wat and so on at the later temples. And again, we see feet. Now, are these the feet of an animal? I would suggest so, but they could be the feet of a man that has been weathered. It could be another case of Ozymandias, the King of Kings, a fantastic poem. So if you look that up, you'll know what my reference refers to. And if you've never read that brief poem, please do. It will explain so much about all that is ancient. So from this wall, which is part of a room, if I peek over, you can see there we come to the actual temple itself. Now we have this blind doorway and we have some horrific erosion. But let's go inside. We didn't come all this way to not have a look in, oh gosh damn, inside. And it's quite pretty in a gnarly sort of way. Up we go. My goodness, look at this brick. Have a look at this. It's blinking huge. Look how big that is. That's the strange thing. That would have been, I imagine, that would be a brick at a different course. I.e. you have a few layers of bricks and then a larger layer to distribute the load, the weight. Now, I've never seen a temple like this, where there's all this masonry just tumbling down inside it. And what we have are these beautifully symmetric details. And that would have been because I would say there'd be a statue right here. And he would have stood here looking at us, being all magnificent. But alas, he's gone. And he would have looked out over this way. But, of course, time has changed. We now have this bamboo and thorned forest. But before this wouldn't have been here. And what he would have looked out upon would have been people. There would have been a village. There would have been children singing and playing. There would have been old people grumbling and, I don't know, discussing recipes, whatever it is they get up to. And it would have been life. But now, silence. So there we go. Another fantastic adventure. And I was going to end with a shot of the rice field, seeing as we're up elevated, but no, this rock has really caught my attention. It pivots on just a small pile of shale, and it could fall at any moment. And to me, it looks like a spaceship or something that's just ready to launch off, whoosh, off into the skies for a big adventure. I really like it. I really do. My imagination just fires off that way, and it makes life a very colourful place to be. But those rice fields that it's going to shoot off over are in fact deadly. There are landmines here, and we have just behind you the Coulon Mountains. And this is something I see very often, is people without limbs around mountains, because the Khmer Rouge that afflicted their atrocities on this country, when they retreated, and remember, it wasn't that long ago, it was a very short time ago that this all happened, they retreated to the mountains because it's a much easier place to defend. And when you defend a position, what they did was they placed landmines all around the base, which is wonderful arable fields for farming. So it is with some sadness that often I'll go towards mountain ranges, let's say here, Thailand, wherever. And the closer I get, the more I see people without one leg, two legs, or even without arms or hands, because the other sad echo of this horrific past is the poverty. And what the locals would do, and they still do it, is collect these bombs and sell it for scrap metal. But of course, sometimes it all goes horribly wrong. So we have beauty, we have nature, we have an ancient temple, and we have a hint or more of sadness. But that's the adventure, isn't it? And I hope this has infused you to go out and have an adventure of your own. But before you do, I need to ask you, please like, subscribe, but above all, comment. It's a lonely business, this, and your comments are very much appreciated. So, until next time, this is Mr. B, wishing you absolutely nothing but the very best.